leopard. Leopard. Hang on. Rex, I've got the ingwe here. That's so cool. No, I'm sorry. I'm having a good laugh because I don't know what's around. Rexon was right here. Rexon was walking around. Hang on, I'm going to let Rex take control of the sighting. He's fine. That is so funny. James and Rexon were walking out on foot. Now you can see why it was almost impossible to see this leopard. Look where it's laying, between a log and a small tree. Completely invisible. That was fantastic. That is why I love the bush so much. And that leopard did not get up once to move. It has obviously been watching. I don't know who it is just yet. I'll tell you now. It's also slightly concerned with the elephants. So it's going to try and hide away from the elephants. I'm wondering, Craig, what do you think? I wonder if our view is actually not going to be better on that side because we can zoom in, hey? Or let's see. I think it could be Shongile. I'm just trying to think. Or Hosana. Or Tamba. It's a young leopard. That's what I've got for you now. Can we have a closer look, Craig, so I can just look at his face very quickly? And then I'll be able to tell you. Okay, well, it doesn't look like it's Hosana because there's no nick. I didn't see a nick on the left ear, which is a telltale sign. I need to get a better view because I can't really see. How's that, Craig? Can we have a... Sorry, I need to use the camera to actually have a closer look to see exactly who it is. No, it is Hosana. My bad. I can see the nick in his ear now. You can see on the top left and also those very golden eyes. Yes. Hello, young man. So now, that's very interesting. So we've got Hosana. There was now also a female leopard tracks around here, so I wonder if Shongile is not in the area too. And he's hiding away from the elephants. I'm sorry that we're not going to... What do you think, Craig? There's elephants. It's a very awkward position that we've got ourselves in because the elephants are now drinking on the other side. Our friend who's the big elephant, he's had his drink. He's not interested now. You can just see the splashes of water. But Hosana's probably not going to move. He's probably going to just wait here until those elephants move out of the way. We would never have seen him. If we were not with these elephants, we would not have seen this leopard. And if it wasn't for the elephants coming down here and making such a noise, he wouldn't have got up to see what was actually going on. That was so great. Hey, James. That's so funny. We're having a good laugh. And this is what I love so much about. It doesn't matter how close you are. Those tracks will be so fresh. But if they're lying in an area in long grass between, like we've got here, a log and a shrub, you will not see him. I was staring at that log the entire time and I had no idea there was a leopard there until he stood up. That is so funny. Well, that's great for everybody. Yeah, it doesn't matter who finds the animal in the end. We knew it was here. I think the stars of the show for finding us this beautiful cat have to be the elephants. So thank you, elephants. Thank you for being as rowdy as what you are, making noise and picking up trees. Because if it wasn't for you, you wouldn't have seen this beautiful creature. Now, you can see those elephants just in the corner. They're moving off now. They didn't stop to have a swim. They had a quick drink of water. And now they're going to carry on feeding for the rest of the day, I presume. Maybe stopping for the odd siesta under a maruda tree. Oh, this is funny. Now, I'm trying to figure out what we're going to do. What our best positioning is going to be. We're obviously in a very awkward spot. We're on a very steep embankment. And I'd love to go and park in the dam for you, just to leave Rusty to rust away in the water too. But I wonder, I know what will happen if I go around onto the other side of the dam. You see, we're lucky we've got a camera so we can zoom all the way in. He'll probably put his head behind the log and then we won't be able to see him. So we'll just be patient for the moment and then decide what we'll do in a second. Ah, that is so great. Woohoo! I'm so excited. Hey, so you know what? If we didn't stop at those giraffe and spend some time with them, and if we didn't stay with the elephants for as long as we did this morning, we wouldn't have this cat. Isn't that great? So thank you to nature for making us stop, making us be patient, Again, like I said, I think that's our life lesson that we're always learning from the animals, is patience. Craig, I know if I move, he's going to move into an awkward spot and then we'll just have to come back again.
I don't think there is a
No, if we were on the other side of the dam, we could see his face nicely because we could just zoom in, but by the time we get around there, he'll get up and move. But this is really nice. He's obviously been quite busy, I can imagine, throughout the night, walking around. I haven't seen many male leopard tracks, so I don't know where he's come from. I actually don't know where Hosana has been for the last few days, to be honest. When did I last see him? I last saw him ages ago, like 2 weeks ago, I think it was. Maybe even, yeah, about 2 weeks ago. And then that's really been it. No, Craig, was the sighting that we had of him, I don't know if I was with you. I can't remember if it was up in the tree when he had the sticks pried below him.
no, it wasn't.
It was with Sebastian. I'm trying to remember. Well, I've seen him twice this cycle, that's all I know. Once just very quickly coming out of the Mulwati, and then the other one with Sebastian was when he was up in the tree, looking petrified. He doesn't look as petrified anymore. He looks much more relaxed. Well, I suppose that's because he doesn't have any lions down on the ground below him. How's that? Using that log to his advantage, just to rest his head on. You don't look very comfortable. You're sort of sitting, half-sitting, standing position. Now, I would love it if we could have some impala come down and drink at the dam. Wouldn't that be great? Hello, Paul. Now, you're wondering how old is this male leopard that we've got sitting here? Well, Hosana must be about just over a year and a half now. Yeah, February, March, April, May, June, July. Almost a year and a half. Just slightly less. You're going to go back to sleep again, yes. I don't know if we'll see much action from him today. Like I said, he's obviously been very, very busy. He must be quite tired now. Megan, are there any other names you'd like to run through this morning? That was so funny. I have to tell you, Megan was saying to me, because obviously we are prompted when we need to go across to the different feeds, but she's reminded me just of my mom, when my mom tries to shout at me when I go home. It was really funny. She goes, when you're ready, you can link to Tayla, Byron in the tent. That sounds like my mom when I've done something wrong. She's trying to get to me. She'll go, Rod, Ryan, Sean, Tayla. I'm always the last one now because I don't live at home. Anyways, well, as Megan said we're going to do, we're not going to go over to Tristan. You're sitting with me. We're going to go across to Byron. It seems as though he's found something to put under the microscope. Looking at the other car. Taxon's just joining us. He's such a beautiful cat, isn't he? Now, I really hope he doesn't just spend most of his time resting, which wouldn't be the unusual thing to do, especially after a hard day of moving around, searching for, not hard day, a hard night of searching for something to eat. It only makes sense that you have a sleep to rest again. But he's very curious. He keeps looking around. Now, Paul, you're wondering if I know most of the leopards in the area, and my answer to that is actually no. I only know a small percentage of the leopards. I think I did a tally of how many leopards I've seen. I can't remember which book it was in. I think it was something like 20-odd leopards that I've seen in the Sabi Sand, but I don't know any of the leopards in the western corner. There's still plenty of leopards up in the north that I've never had the pleasure of meeting. Again, in the eastern section, or the southeastern section towards Singita Londolozi, I also don't know all those leopards there. So we can go through it at some point again. I'll get one of my notebooks out, and hopefully I have a pen somewhere around here, and we'll try and have a look. Now, just remember, with sightings like this, obviously we haven't seen a leopard for quite some time, and because it's the first leopard sighting of the day, there's going to be a whole lot of people trying to get in here. So I'm going to try and sit with this cat for as long as we can and spend a bit of time with him. The other guys can just hang tight, because that's the thing out here in the bush, is that this is not just the only leopard that's on the property at the moment. I'll tell you right now, if you carry on searching, with all the cars around you, if everybody spent at least an hour trying to track an animal, you would most certainly find more than one leopard. That's what we always used to say. Everyone likes to just race to an established sighting. So we will hold our spot. Now, Sinatra, you're wondering, why do leopards have such thick chins? I've never noticed that they've had a thick chin. You may be talking around, I actually don't understand the question, around their necks perhaps, how thick their necks are? Because their chins or their jaw just looks normal. I mean, obviously that houses lots of very powerful teeth. So the other thing that I can think of is, if you may be talking about their necks, is that they have dewlaps. But this leopard doesn't really have a dewlap yet. He's still quite young, but he'll probably get one. He's not a little leopard. I think he'll grow in the next few years to be a stunning boy. And that normally is to have a dewlap. Sorry, I'm just listening. No, it was people talking. I thought for a second I may have heard a lion calling in the distance, but it's somebody with a very deep voice. So the dewlap is very important to help protect the throat. Just like a lion's mane is there to protect the vital organs from when they fight, the same thing goes for a dewlap. Obviously, leopards don't have manes. Now, I'm hoping that that big yawn that he just did means he's going to get up and start moving around. There's also a pearl-spotted owlet calling. And a Rexon mimicking it. Oh, I'm so tired. It's Sunday. Do I really have to get out of bed? I reckon that's what he's saying. He's now gone, oh, the people have arrived. I better put on a show for him. Lots of birds around here. Doves all making noises. Obviously the pearl-spotted owlet. Look how excited he is. He doesn't know where to listen. Chilean, you say that you love leopards. It's hard not to love leopard. Of course, they're one of the most majestic creatures out here, just with their striking colours. And when they get on the move, they are even more amazing. And I think the fact that they are able to climb trees really well, and that's one of their favourite spots to perch themselves in, as a tree is going to look like he was going to do another yawn there, but he seems to have swallowed that one. He did the yawn that all guides are trained to do when you're guiding. You sort of sit there and it's 2 o'clock in the morning and you're still trying to host your guests, but you know that you've got to get up in 3 hours time, sometimes in summer even only 2 hours time, but you can't be rude and yawn in front of guests. So you close your mouth, your eyes do this weird thing where they look like they're rolling back. That's exactly the yawn that Hosana did now. Don't worry, young man, we don't mind. You can show us if you are tired. See, he is moving around there. He's listening. I can't actually see if he's had a meal recently. He hasn't really exposed much of his body, but perhaps after this yawn he will. But his teeth look in fantastic condition, don't they? White, nice, because that's again another way you can age a leopard or any of the big cats typically. When they get a bit of staining, that yellow and all that sort of grit build up, and that will, and that of course indicates that they're slightly older. But white teeth like that, I mean, he's quite young. He is such a beautiful leopard. To me, he is a splitting image of Tingana, or a young Tingana. He doesn't seem to be too interested in the birds anymore. Remember those days when anything dare flutter nearby and him and his sister would go chasing after it? Now, right, one of the things we've been chatting about, actually for almost an entire year since I started working here, is mange. And it's a big problem, unfortunately, with a lot of the animals out here. We see it quite heavily affecting lions. There's also that jackal around Chitwa airstrip that seems to have a severe problem with mange. And Mary, you're wondering if leopards have the same issue. Of course, mange is not limited to one species of animal. Any animal can contract mange. And basically, you won't see mange on a healthy animal. What happens is, as soon as the immune system is slightly weakened, mange jumps on board. And what it is, it's a parasite that feeds on hair follicles. So we saw a lot of mange during the drought. And you can imagine why, is because there's nothing for any of the animals to eat. So they were hungry, they were starving. They become weaker and weaker. And so that typically jumps board there. But I haven't seen any of the leopards with mange just yet. But this is so beautiful. I really hope that he does decide to, of course, get up. He keeps staring over into the distance. So I wonder if he hasn't seen something. Maybe Shongile is in there. You know Shongile loves to sit up in trees, and it wouldn't be the first time that we have seen her up in trees around Treehouse Dam. There's plenty of marulas here. There's also some nice jackalberries just up in the drainage line, just slightly west of us. And they seem to be the only trees that have got decent foliage on them at the moment. And for these hot winter days, that would be a nice spot to shade yourself. Oh yes, now you're going to act like a real house cat. Look at this. Isn't this sweet? Look at his paws. Now we can actually have a good look at his paws. I think Tamba's feet are bigger than Hosana's feet, to be honest. They don't look so out of proportion. They actually look like they fit onto Hosana, whereas Tamba, when you look at him, it looks like he's wearing shoes about 10 sizes too big. So I think he's going to be a very, very, very big leopard when he gets older. But while Hosana decides to lay on his back and stretch out like a typical house cat, let's go back across to Byron. He's still in the tent, and he's loving the owls today. Isn't that great? So let's go see which other owls he's going to talk about. Hello everybody, sorry about that. Unfortunately, the gremlins are, well, attacking us, but we seem to be back, which is quite good. And I hope that you didn't get up and go too far away, but our leopard is now fast asleep. We're probably actually not going to stay here for very much longer. He's really not doing anything. He did give us a couple of yawns earlier, if you have just joined us, but I think those were fake yawns. Maybe it was just because he was tired and not because he was getting up and ready to move around. He looks like he's got a great spot here. He's got the morning sun on his back. He's hidden away very well, concealed by a log and a small shrub. I think it looks like a common spikethorn or something like that. And I think he's going to wait for something to walk towards him. He still hasn't revealed his belly, so I can't tell you if he's eaten recently, but he seems to be in fairly good condition. He doesn't look, well, thin, because then we'd see his hip bones and things sticking out, and that's something that I cannot see. Now Rexon has left. He was going to go for a tea and coffee stop, and I think he said he was going to come back here. But like I said, he's unfortunately not been up to too much. Very quiet. The only action that we've really had at the dam, other than Hosana sleeping, is the blacksmith lapwing chasing turtle doves around the dam, and emerald spotted wood doves. So that's been the most action that we've been watching. And I think actually those chicks might still be alive. I think one of the adults ushered them into the long grass in the distance, because they're very active down there and they haven't come back. Craig, I think let's go. Hosana, I unfortunately don't know if I have a lot of patience to sit here for 3 hours with you, because I know what you're like. I think you're going to sleep for most of the day. Nice anyway, of course, to see a leopard. First thing, we'll probably pop past a little bit later, but I don't think he's going to get up to too much. I think he's obviously had a very busy evening, but we'll go around and see what else we can find. Perhaps we bump into those elephants that we were with earlier, Cheeky 1 and Cheeky 2. Let's go to Byron in the tent, and I think he still wants to talk about those nocturnal birds.